And that's bringing us into our next session, guys. I see my esteemed panel of colleagues joining. Bumil, Jacob, how are you?
Hi.
Very well, Eric. How about yourself?
I'm doing very well, thank you, thank you. So we're just waiting on Yuri, but I'll introduce the segment here, guys. So we're going to be discussing how we can empower sales team with technology that's going to help them, achieve operational excellence and help them achieve their goals as well. Yuri, how are you?
Doing well, thanks.
All right,
you guys.
Great to see you as well. You're a busy man on this event today, Yuri. So I just took myself stopped sharing my screen so we can all fit on the on the screen together. In reference to our topic today, guys, we all know that as sales teams are building their strategies and their trying to adapt to different trends and disruptions within, the market or within their, geopolitical or location trends. They were always having to be adapting and overcoming and, agile enough to change our business models to the changing environments that we're in. So one of the questions that I wanted to pose to you guys is what trends over the last let's say 2 years have you seen that's been hitting sales organizations, and what effect has it had on them to achieve their goals? I'll throw that out there to anyone. Anybody can jump in.
First thing I would like to mention is the artificial intelligence. It changes the landscape.
Yeah, absolutely. I think if we're not leveraging artificial intelligence, we're behind the 8 ball at this point, as they say.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, so there has been a paradigm shift, so to say, in terms of sales operations, right? I mean, the sales reps went from living out of a suitcase to 100% digital, and once the regulations started easing up, they again went back to that gray area where they're now operating in a hybrid model where it's part online and part in person. So it has significantly impacted the way the sales operations take place in this day and age. And quite frankly, I mean, I see a lot of brands and enterprises actually embracing this change in a positive fashion, and they actually think that it's a little more efficient. In that sense, now that the sales reps aren't really traveling and they're not spending too much time, they can actually focus more on generating revenue and getting that output from their teams.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's a great point. Jacob, what are your thoughts in this area?
Well, on our side, I would say that also the Corona crisis, as just mentioned, really changed the things, as it made people realize that digital transformation is something needed by the companies and enterprises and businesses. And it's just not a fashion, but it's like a logical evolution of the way that our society is currently working. And they were forced to adapt the strategy. They were forced to adapt the way they are doing businesses. It was quite brutal here. I mean, especially in Switzerland. I mean, we are not like front runners. We are not. I mean, like taking the first trend. Usually, we are more like looking what's happening in USA, more looking what's happening in France, and etc. And once everybody had done their own experiences and sometimes made some mistakes, then we adapt the trend. But 2 years ago, we didn't have the opportunity to observe. We had just had to jump into the situation, and then to adapt also about sales and long distance sales and without any contact. So that's it.
Yeah, that's definitely it's something that had been there, but I think the pandemic had accelerated that, right? Like it brought that strategy and that roadmap that a company or a sales organization might have had and condensed that to a very short period of time. One other thing that I would say was a trend that we've noticed over the last couple of years is that we've got changing, buyer expectations, right? The customers that we're selling to today are not the same customers that we were selling to 10 years ago. To your point, Bumil, like, we're not operating out of a briefcase anymore, and knocking on doors. We are, our customers and buying behaviors have changed. The customers are now more informed. They have access to information. They can get educated even before speaking, to a salesperson. So, it's almost like from a sales organization, we have to adapt and guide, our prospects and potential customers, through the process, because there's just so much access to information now. Customers are probably 70% of their buying decision has already been made even before they talk to somebody, right? So it's something that we have to adapt to. And Yuri, you had mentioned, right at the beginning, artificial intelligence, right? That's one technology that's going to help, sales organizations really foster operational excellence within their organizations. But I would also throw out there, what other technologies are you guys seeing? You guys are living in this world, right? What technologies are you seeing that are helping organizations become more efficient in the way that they operate?
Well, there are a lot of things that we see in practice. A lot of tools are converging and provide the ability for the sales operation to mine data more efficiently, match it to leads, enhance the information that will help them to score those leads properly. So you can see those powerful tools at any level of your sales cycle, from lead uncovering to like your pitch that is developed in the very collaborative way, using a lot of interaction, very heavy interaction between the teammates, especially when they work on the large deals. And we see a lot of automation happening in the back end for all these operations. Probably 40% of those things have been already automated. And the prediction is that it will reach 60, up to 60, maybe 70% of the routine things to be automated to free up time for nurturing leads or doing the meaningful conversation on those touch-ups that you make with your prospects or customers in the life cycle upsell and cross-sell type activities.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. We've heard that theme throughout our Accelerate event here, or even a term, hyper automation, right? How do we automate and make that process easier so that sales professionals can focus on what they do best, and that's selling.
My friend sent me a meme yesterday on Facebook, which says UPS is saying your package is in your city and the truck is driven by Mike. It will arrive at your doorstep at 6 p.m. FedEx is saying, your package is coming. You'll get it when I get there. UPS is saying, what package? Amazon is saying, we're already inside your apartment. Check the bathroom. And now the cherry on the ice, Facebook is saying, we know you were thinking about getting a toaster yesterday. Here is my top 10 or 20 ads about the toaster oven for you to consider. So you can see what's happening in the marketplace and what the consumers are getting used to as far as being informed, being anticipating, better understanding of their intent, and also matched it with the best option that is easier to digest for the consumer with less information, less variations. Again, thanks to the technology that makes a perfect personalization all the way.
Yeah, absolutely. That's a good analogy as well. I always like that, and we're being spoiled as well, right? Like that's changing consumer behavior. We expect that out of every interaction that we have now, right? We expect that level of personalization, and if sales organizations aren't able to kind of map that, you're going to fall behind your competitors. And that leads me into kind of a second topic here, guys, is as we see this blending of organizations, that's marketing with sales, all the way through service. We have these complex customer journeys now that these teams need to be working together as a cohesive unit. So whether that's sales getting involved in developing marketing content, helping to better qualify leads. What can technology do to help, bridge that gap, between organizations and ensure that, everybody is, moving forward with that one goal in mind. I know that, at Creatio, we look at everything in that way, right? How do we bring everything together? What are you guys seeing? Bumil, Jacob, what are you guys seeing in terms of technology that will help bring everybody, together?
Absolutely.
Yeah. Let's go.
No, that's okay. Go ahead.
In terms of technology, I mean, like for me, I just would like to maybe to emphasize about what you're saying before about that the customer often knows a lot about the product he's going, or the service he's going to purchase or to ask information about. And for me, it's really about how a platform like Creatio could help people to the sales teams and also the marketing teams to collaborate and also to share the information to end the silos that quite often happen in big enterprises, to share the enterprise and not to fall in the gap to give some information that the consumer could already have. So for me, that would be one of the main points.
Absolutely.
And to your point, Eric, I mean, it's funny that you bring this up because just yesterday I was reading this article from Boston Consulting, and they were, speaking about how the dynamics of the sales, marketing, and service has changed, and they strongly believe that in the future, marketing, sales, and services will have to work as one cohesive unit, like you rightly put. So, just a small example. For instance, if the marketing department decides to invest, a large amount of their budgets on one particular campaign, then the sales team also needs to have that information. They need to be on the same platform, on the same level as the marketing team, to understand that there is going to be a sizable amount of traffic coming their way, and they can channel their efforts towards increasing the revenue as the leads come in. So that I think that we should embrace the technology where sales, service, marketing can coexist on one platform in a unified manner.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I would agree. Oh, go ahead, Yuri.
Yeah, I just wanted to add to this that we see a lot of integration between sales and marketing. And when they converge, it results in the shorter sales cycle. So we really accelerate our sales cycle, and we spend less time of like different duties instead of just doing the selling. I like when during the marketing, we can score our leads, and then it goes directly to the most or best suitable sales representative, fully automated routing that occurs. And when we have answers included into our marketing that sales team generated, it basically shortens the decision-making process for the customer. They see exactly the answers embedded into the marketing material, and they can pick and choose the solution that is most suitable for their needs.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. And again, yeah, I think that those efforts really need to be coordinated, and you start to see, well, in my role as an enablement director, right, that is, one of my, key targets is to align everybody, right? Align marketing, align sales, all the way to how we service our customers, and then how do we operationalize it. So, again, that coordinated effort really needs to be, managed closely. So that leads me to another question, guys. So as we move more and more, it's funny when I say this, because I as a sales professional, I've worked from home for 20 plus years, right? It's either I'm on a plane traveling to a customer, or I've worked out of my home. But as we're moving into more of a work from anywhere type of scenario, sales teams in particular, when they're spread out and they're diverse, we need to ensure that they're remaining productive. And when we look at remote sales teams, how do you feel technology can help them still remain productive while not being in the office, in a boardroom, everybody trying to meet? How can we still remain productive though our sales teams are kind of spread out?
That's a great point. I remember a few years ago, Salesforce made a report that only 30% or 35% of the time of the sales rep is spent on actual selling. Everything else were other duties. So the more we can do in meaningful automation to reduce the time that sales reps and their management spend in some sort of data entry or research or in grooming the records type activities, the more they have time to nurture the leads and make the meaningful conversation with the prospect or customer. So I'd like to say that when you enable a platform like low-code Creatio gives you and your sales team, you get such a tool set that can be used to solve this problem right there.
Right.
Absolutely. I think to Yuri's point, there are a lot of these ancillary activities which we call sales operations that don't really account for the actual selling in that sense. For instance, rudimentary things like generating a quote or coming up with reports for your management and things like that. I mean, ideally that shouldn't take too long, but it actually eats into your time and you lose your productivity. So if we embrace technology and have that automated, then I think that leaves out quite a significant chunk where you can focus on bringing in the revenue.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, ask your team member, dear customer or partner, how much of the follow-up is being automated in your sales organization. So when you do that in a platform like Creatio, you see the results immediately, and this is very powerful strategy to employ.
Absolutely, absolutely. All right, well, guys, I'm getting the wrap-up sign. That went by quick. This is a good discussion. I feel every time at the end of the day, I feel like we need another, at least 15, 20 minutes to continue the discussion. But I think this has been, very insightful on ways to, again, how do we remain productive? How do we achieve, operational excellence? And I think, we had some key themes there, automation, personalization, and tools that are going to allow sales teams to focus on revenue generating activities versus administrative. So we know that there's a whole host of tools out there for it. We know that here at Creatio, that's what we're trying to bring into a single platform. So Bumil, Yuri, Jacob, it's been a great conversation. Like I said, we'll have to have another one so we can have a part 2 of this.
Absolutely.
All right,
Thank you, everyone.
gentlemen. Thanks very much.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Well,
Bye.